So I got a hold of Berta, and she said that you guys would have the bond here, should have all the securities, and the check.
Over here is $450.
I will not accept that because here's the fact of the matter. The reason they're keeping that $50 is to keep the bond open. If I have the bond, there's no need to keep the $50.
Well, I don't have $50.
I was
$50 is over there.
I was exonerated on all counts,
I can show
and
you the check that I got because
Yep.
it's not in the bank.
and to me, it's not even about the paper. I don't even care about the
This is what I
500.
have
Yep,
in your trust.
I won't accept that.
So-
And that's in the trust.
Yeah, it's like, where
We
I'm
don't
showing.
have the other $50, it's over in county court.
Yeah,
we
and
have
so
no
what I
access
can
to that
give you
money
is
whatsoever.
what I have.
This is what we have access to.
Okay,
To
well,
get what's over
you guys are
there.
gonna have to communicate with her because she
No,
should have given you the
whatever-
50.
You'll have to go to her and ask her for the other $50.
I
This
shouldn't
is-
have to do that.
this
She
is-
should have transferred everything over to
This is
here.
all we can do. This is all the money we
Where-
have. This is all we can do.
Where is the bond at? I could care less about that check. I want the bond and I want the securities. I want a full
We
accounting.
don't have that kind of stuff.
I want a full accounting of the case. I want full disclosure, because if you guys are not willing to do that, then what I'm going to do is go to the IRS and I'm going to go ahead and fill out the proper forms to have this place seriously audited. I need the securities. I need,
We're audited every year.
well, not like this.
And
This will be
by
a
the way,
scrutiny.
This is all we have. This is all we have access to. We don't have access to anything else. This is what we.
Well, then you need to call the judge and ask him where the bond is and where the securities are, because there were securities created with this account.
If you want anything out of this case, we'll certainly give you anything out of this case
I-
that there is a charge for.
Well, there's not a charge. I can show you where I don't have to pay a thing for the paperwork that's my paperwork.
That's the way it is.
But go ahead and call the judge then and get it ironed out, because I want the bonds and I want the securities. I'm not playing games. I'm being polite.
What do you mean by the bond? You mean some kind of piece of paper?
Yes, there's a bond that's created, and on the back of it is all the securities. And then there'll be pages that are also attached to it with cage code numbers, QSIP numbers.
Not in our court. We don't have that.
Absolutely every court does that, Paula, and I'll forgive you for your ignorance because you may not be aware of what they're doing in the.
Everything we have is in here.
Okay, then
There's
call the
nothing
judge,
like
because
that.
the judge will have all that in his private chambers in a vault, and he's monetizing that stuff. I know these things exist because I looked them up.
I think you'll have to talk to the judge because
Sure.
we only have what we have.
Well, there's securities that have been created in my good name. The reason they keep the $50 is to keep the bond open, because no case is ever closed.
You'll have to talk over, well, this is.
And then what they do is they wait for me to abandon the bond after 3 years, and they turn around and monetize it and put it in the CAFR.
This case cannot be opened again.
I understand that it's been dismissed, and I understand it's been without prejudice. What I'm chasing now is the
And
securities.
you'll have to go over to the county court about the $50. We can give you the $450 if that's.
I'll take the $450, but I'm not going to cash it, and I won't accept it as any form of a contract to negate or void the fact.
We have only the papers that are contained within.
This right here shows what we have. This is your bond number that was filed.
235.
And this is what shows up right here, bond. There is no image of it.
Okay.
Nothing. This is
Well,
all we
it's
have.
go ahead and call the judge and let him know what I'm asking for. I want the securities. I want the bonds. I want full financial disclosure on this case. And I know you guys monetize it. You ladies might not personally do that, but I know that it's monetized through the cage code, the QSIPs, the crisp numbers, the securities.
This is all we do. This is all
Well-
we have. This is all we have access to.
Ladies, I didn't go to Harvard or Yale. I spent 16 to 18 hours a day studying law after you guys took interest in me. So I'm here to tell you that I know these things exist and they're
We
real.
can only give you what we have, and this is
Okay,
all.
but you also have a fiduciary responsibility to go ahead and contact the magistrate, the
The magistrate's right across
the
the hall.
ministerial administrator, and make sure that I have all these documents. I want complete, full disclosure.
And see, this is when if I go to the update bond,
Uh-huh.
this shows that this is what we got, this is what the bond number is, this is the information, but that's the only kind that, everything's online.
Right.
As far as if
So
there's
you might
anything
wanna-
else made somewhere else.
You might
it's
want
not
to call Berta on that, because I specifically talked to her about the. Oh, she is.
here. Yeah, she's
Wonderful.
here today.
Okay, so what I'll do is I will take that check from you. You don't have the bond at all in this court. So how were you guys able to run a simulated legal process without the case being bonded? That's my question.
We don't collect the bonds, so we don't have.
You would have had the bond on this case. What were you using as a
We don't
bond?
collect the bond. We have when we get that bond.
But that bond would have been moved from the county to the district court.
And that's in
So how
our
did you-
orders,
how did
that's
you-
in our orders, that it says it
I
was
think
moved.
that Bert
That's all
explained
okay,
that
so-
to me, that she made a mistake and forgot to send it over.
Right, but we're not talking about the FRN notes. We're talking about the bond. How did you operate a simulated legal process without the bond in your custody? That's what I'm asking.
We act on orders, and our orders.
Okay, but you have a job too, so orders don't work.
Yes,
The-
no.
The Nazis were hung
We
because they
have-
followed orders.
We have no right to do anything
No, but
except
you
by
have,
orders.
you have an obligation to know your job.
And we do know our job.
Okay, so where's the
Derek,
bond
And we did
at?
ours correctly. Go across the hall and talk to Bert.
Okay, I will ask her for the bond. I'm still curious how you ran a simulated legal process without a bond.
So do you want this 450 or not?
Yeah, you can give me that, and I'll hang on to
If you want
it.
copies out of your case, you can have copies.
In no way,
out of
shape,
your
or
case.
form is that considered a contract where I negate wanting the bond or the securities or full disclosure, but I do want a copy of
Open
everything that's on this case.
What's inside there, and if it happens
Release
to
the
be
bond, and then I will be writing
put
you
the
a
time
check
and date
from the
that
district
you
court
received.
bank account for the bond.
Right, and what I'm
It's not gonna
saying
be
is,
like a cash thing or anything.
by accepting your check, I'm not gonna go and cash it. What I'm gonna do is hang on to it. But so often what happens in these simulated court processes is they give you the check, and when you cash it, then you've entered some blind adhesion contract that releases the obligation of the court. The fact of the matter is there were securities created on this account in my good name. They accessed my trust, as you had just
Well, whoever
illustrated, that
they
you know
are-
that there's a trust.
Whoever they are, we have no idea who they are.
Well, I know who they are, but you guys,
Do you have names?
sure, Mark Kuzik's one of them. He definitely has the securities held in the vault. That's,
Except for the point that isn't his name. But-
oh, what is his name? Would you divulge that for me? Because if his name is fictitious on his legal
It's
paperwork,
Mark
we,
Kozacek. Learn
Mark
how to-
Kuzicek. Okay,
No,
thank you.
Kozacek.
Kozacek, thank you for the
Learn to pronounce it
clarification.
correct.
I appreciate the
Okay,
clarification.
And that is, if he has anything, you have to speak to him. He did not, this is what we have, we can give you no more than what we have.
Well, you
Because
can
don't-
also
it
ask
can
for
sit
it.
there too. I mean, if you don't want to take it right now, it'll stay there.
Are you
until
saying that
have
if I accept your check that I'm entering into a blind
no,
adhesion
you
contract
said
with you
this
guys
is
that
word.
negates me
Yeah.
from?
Said this is your money, if you want it, take it, if not, we'll keep it.
Well, it's just FRN notes. I will take your promissory note to pay, and I will hold that until I have the rest.
Acoustic thing. These honestly go to the road office. Those are not.
So Paula, can I appoint you as trustee to handle this affair and call? I think I am gonna appoint you trustee to handle this affair and call Mark.
Take orders from you.
You work for we the people and we pay you, Paula.
I'm sorry, I am not a
Okay.
trustee, so just,
All
like I
right.
said.
I'm
this
putting
is
you
what
on
we
notice that
have.
I'm gonna appoint you as trustee over
is
this
what
trust
we have.
to,
This is what you can have.
Right.
If you need something else, you're gonna have to go to him about it. Go across the hall and talk to Bert about your $50.
Paula, I'd like it if you would honor your oath, which I do have a copy of, and call Mark and ask him for the full securities and full disclosure. Derek Gonzalez wants a full accounting of all charges brought against him in his good name. I want to know how much I was warehoused for, how much money the sheriff was paid for warehousing Derek Gonzalez. I want to know how much D&E and LLC were paid and compensated for warehousing Derek. I want a full accounting and disclosure.
Yeah, that comes here, that was from the appeal.
Thank you, Ken, thank you for the.
Oh, yeah,
Well, I tried.
I mean, if they were going to keep $50 after I was completely exonerated on all charges, isn't that a form of extortion? I mean, to me, it seems that if you guys did move forward with your case, then I would be completely made whole once again. That includes all documentation, securities, bonds, anything that was created in that case should be rightfully returned to me because I am a party of interest and the sole beneficiary of the matter. I don't know how it could be perceived by anybody else as anything short of extortion. Give us 500 FRN notes, and then when we find that we can't move against you, we're just going to go ahead and keep 50 of it and hope you're happy with a $450 check without the bond and the securities or a full accounting. And to me, that's theft. And then the fact that you want to charge me for paperwork that technically is my paperwork.
You know, everybody gets charged for it.
No, people that are ignorant get charged for it. Intelligent people demand their assets and their
Do
property.
you like driving on nice roads?
I pay for road tax every time I pay for fuel. Paying for plates doesn't pay for your road tax. Paying for your tires and paying for your fuel pays for the roads. That's the difference. It's knowledge is power. I understand that I pay for the taxes on the road every time I get fuel. I drive a 6.0 Chevy and I go through a tank of fuel almost every day. I mean, the amount of taxes I pay compared to somebody that drives a Prius is sizably different. So the entitlements to the roads are we the people's. It's not the government's property. My buddy here is mentioning RICO case law. The defendants constitute an illegal enterprise and acts or threats of acts in violation of Civil RICO Federal Racketeering Act, U.S. 18, 1961, 1963. He goes on to quote Title 18 quite a bit here. Mail fraud, wire fraud, obstruction of justice, obstructing of criminal investigation, relating against a witness.
You're barking at the wrong people.
Well, have a good day, sir. I appreciate your opinion. Interference with interstate commerce, perjury, and fraud. Continued statutes of limitations and ongoing activity. Conspiracy, bankruptcy, fraud. And this man's been studying law for a long time. And when we read the Bible, we see that God gave us dominion over the land, the air, the fowl in the air, the fish in the sea. Nowhere did it say that government shall have dominion over the people.
It's too cold out there.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
You love this place that much?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get everything that belongs to me. There was a trust created when they brought charges against me. There's QSIP number, cage codes, securities brought my good name. They've taken 500 FRN notes from me, right? And now they only want to give me 450 back. Clear-cut case of extortion here.
Absolutely not. That's the way it is. Right up front, they take 10%. You get everything back except
They
10%.
keep the
You don't
10%.
like
They
that-
keep the
that's
10%
way
to
it
keep
is.
the bond alive, and so that's what I want. I want the bond. I want the securities. All those instruments are mine. They use my good name to create them. So they said they would give me the 400.
Those things.
400
We have only what's in the case file. We don't have anything.
They said they would give me the $450 check. I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah,
They-
because you're talking so much, I can't concentrate.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm trying to get this straight,
She's
and
got
it's
to
not
think about
working.
what she's doing, so she's doing it right.
Okay. earlier she was gonna hand it to me, so I'm just curious. And then they're telling me that I have to pay for all these papers that are rightfully, willfully mine, and I have collected interest in them, so it's just,
Do you charge for copies? Is that what
They
they?
do the refund, and then
So-
except for the fact that I'm the party of interest and I don't have to pay, and it's clearly established in the Supreme Court. Not that the Supreme Court really matters because they're nothing more than opinions, but at the same point in time, it's my intellectual property. You see, when they bring a case against you, it's very interesting what they're doing. When they create these cage codes, these QSIP numbers, these securities, and then they turn around and you abandon these things that are yours, they turn around after 3 years and claim them with an abandoned title, and then they turn around and put them in the CAFR, which later has kicked out all the judges and counties and things of that nature. I know how this works. I've studied for 16 to 18 hours a day on this. People are going there to go to law school. Why would I want to be a criminal?
I got it, but these ladies, I mean,
I know, I have no
they,
ill will or harbor.
they give you the form,
animosity
they
towards
can
you.
give you the form for the alert. It's not up to them whether they keep the 10% or
Well,
not.
it has
That's
to
the way
be.
it is.
I've appointed Paul as a trustee to go ahead and handle the fiduciary responsibility of calling Mark Kuzichak and going ahead and,
Mark Kuzichak.
he would be the ministerial administrator that we sat before the day in that, private tribunal.
Oh, Judge goes, okay,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
Judge goes check. Okay.
I just call him Mark because that's what there hasn't been a judge in
I
this
have
country
no-
since
I have no idea who Mark
1871.
was.
Yeah, that's all right. It's not uncommon for that. But like I said, I have no ill will. I'm not up here to create problems. I just want what's rightfully mine. I mean, if you take something from a man and then you don't charge him, doesn't he rightfully have a right to his property back?
They'll give you what they've got, but they can't create something that's not here.
The other 10% is to keep that bond alive, because even though a case is dismissed, it's never closed. They're still trading the securities instruments, and they're using my good name to do it, and I know this. And I want full disclosure on the accounting. I want to know how much they were paid, the sheriffs were paid to warehouse me. You know, there's money involved here. It's all about money. Under CFR 27, all crimes are commercial. It's all about banking. When you look up a ministerial administrator, AKA a judge in Black's Law Dictionary, it says banker. When you look up banker, it refers back to judge. It's circular in nature.
That's not hard to figure out. It costs X amount of dollars to keep you in Lincoln there every day, so.
Yeah, but see, the
times
securities that
16 days or whatever it
the
was.
securities they're trading are far greater in number.
For what we're having to do because of what all went on.
The fee, no,
The $50, the 10%, that's
the
what.
$50 is irrelevant. It's just to keep open the bond. You guys are paid through taxpayer funding, so that is irrelevant. What I want is just everything that belongs to me, Bob. And I told them in the beginning to leave me alone. I study religiously. So like I said,
I got it.
if you're up here to arrest me, I get it.
Oh, no, hell
If
no,
you're up
I
here
was
to
up
kick me
there, I
out,
was up there to,
Yeah, I'm just in a public building. I know she called you. I'm not stupid. I've been through the rigmarole. I get it. I respect you. I'm not up here to harm anybody. I absolutely have no weapons on me. I intend these ladies no harm or ill will or mental anguish. I'm just asking for things that are rightfully mine that they should be able to produce.
I'm just telling you, that you're not gonna get the 10% back today.
I'm gonna go across the way because they're saying that she's holding me 10% over there.
That I don't know about, so.
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm just gonna go over
And
there.
then they'll give you the papers you got, but if they charge everybody else for a copy, they're gonna charge you for a copy.
Well, I
And
can-
you can either take them or not take them. If you wanna pay for it, fine. If you don't wanna pay for it, then you're gonna have to go.
I'll take it up with the higher ups on this.
Absolutely, Bob
I
Severker
appreciate
and a
it.
whole bunch.
Well,
so.
no, we'll go way above them at this point. I'm
Okay.
so sick of this stuff. Dave, we've got to start doing something for this country. I mean, son of a gun. I got a chief of police that won't give me a firearm back. I'm not guilty of a felony. I've never been committed with a felony. And you know what the son of a gun told me? He's not going to give the firearm back because the county attorney hasn't signed a piece of paper yet. Well, that's a bunch of malarkey. He didn't need a piece of paper when he stole it. He didn't need a piece of paper when he stole me off the side of the road. He didn't have a warrant for my arrest or an affidavit in support. And they didn't have any probable cause that I had committed a crime. They colluded with the county attorney and came up with bullshit, bogus charges. And that's the truth of it. And it's a sad day in America, in the heart of America. If we're gonna fix this country, it's gonna happen right here, buddy.
I wasn't here
With
for all
good
that.
people. I know you
And
will. I know you will.
I feel for what you had to go through.
And I respect the heck out of you. I really believe you're an honorable man. I respect the heck out of you. You remind me a lot of my uncle.
What do we have that Derek needs yet that we've got copies of?
I would love all my copies, and I can show you where the Supreme Court says that I have no obligation to pay for something that's my intellectual property.
That was actually denied, I believe. Your informa pauperis was denied.
No, that was approved. What was denied was later when the brief didn't carry over from the county court to the district court, and I couldn't submit a brief to the federal Court of Appeals, it was based upon the fact that I didn't have a brief. Well, there was no brief in an interlocutory appeal because an interlocutory appeal was based upon substantial rights violations, which completely destroys the whole judiciary because substantial rights need not even be mentioned. If you mention the fact that your substantial rights are violated, you don't even need to submit a brief. It's based upon the fact that I was denied my witnesses, I was denied a bunch of things that were substantial rights. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. I'll see you guys later. Hi, is Bert in today?
Sorry, I was listening to it too.
Oh, you're all right. I just need the other $50 that's keeping that bond open because I know that cases, although they're dismissed, they're never closed. And I would appreciate it if you would call. I don't know why the bond isn't over there. How are they operating a simulated legal process without a bond?
The
over
bond
there?
is over there.
She's telling me it's over here.
Who'd you tell? I just gave it to Lisa this morning.
Lisa and Paula are both saying the bond is over here in county court. I
Okay,
know that's
okay.
correct.
I just gave him, okay. I gave him the 450.
I don't care about the FRN notes or the check. I want the bond and the security instruments that were created on it in my good name that were accessing my assessed to KV trust. That's how this works. Through the
Yeah,
simulated
okay.
legal process. So you'll have to call the judge and ask him which one's got my securities and my bond and all that information. Because on the actual bond, on the back of it will be all the securities and everything else. And there may be a few other pages. I want complete full disclosure on the monetization of all my documents.
Okay. You want the actual paperwork?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're not talking actual.
I don't really care about this. I want what you guys are monetizing through QSIPs, cage codes, securities, CRIS numbers. I want the value that you have taken from my estate. That's what I want. That's what
I can give you the actual bond.
You're a rock star. That's what I
Okay.
want. Thank you.
I'm
fantastic.
learning.
No, you're okay.
I'm learning.
And so that should be the original bond with wedding signature. I don't want a printout. I want the
I
original.
don't have the original.
Okay, who has the original? It's in the judge's vault, correct? So you're gonna have to call the judge and ask them for the original because I want the securities. I want a full disclosure of all accounting. I wanna know how much they were paid for warehousing me. I want everything.
Okay. I don't know, I can't give you an exact date.
That's okay, as long as you will give
But,
me your
okay.
guarantee you're going to do
Okay.
that, I have no problem with
We
that.
don't have the actual original document anymore.
Did you
because
trade it already?
I have a scanned image of the original.
I don't want the scanned image. We
I
both
know.
know that an original copy holds all the weight and value and merit. And I know that they probably already traded that, and now I need to know where it's at. Because that security, after 3 years, is considered abandoned, and then it turns around and it gets placed into the CAFR, the CAFR. And you guys are using cage codes, QSIP numbers, securities, and under Title 31, maybe it's not Title 31, don't quote me on that, but it's fraud. What they did was they used my good name, they accessed my trust that was created at my birth, and my testator's intent will clearly show my parents didn't pledge me as some type of slave to the corporation known as the United States Incorporated. Okay, so with that said, they've monetized my good name, and I need a full accounting of everything. I want to know everything about this case. And I told them to leave me alone in the beginning, and they all laughed and sneered. I don't think they realized that I quit everything I was doing to study law 16 to 18 hours a day, and I am damn well versed in what I do. And I need all that information. So thank you for being humble and polite and professional. I really appreciate that. And if you will just give me your word that you will make those contacts to either Judge Kuzak or Tammy Shint, whoever it was that monetized those securities, I need to know where they are. If they're at the International Bank of Commerce or bankruptcy in New York already being monetized and changed into bonds to change on the IMF stock exchange, I want to know where they're at. I have a right to full disclosure, and I have a right to full accounting, and I have a right to be compensated 3 times whatever this court or this entity profited from it. So I've been damaged, I've been injured, I've been harmed, I've been maimed, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and I have a right to everything that I'm asking you for.
Okay,
Thank you. Will you give me your word that you will do that for me?
I can't give you an original because I don't have it.
Okay, where is the original?
in the
I
dumpster?
don't know.
No, it's not in the dumpster. No,
Okay,
it's not in the
okay, I shouldn't
dumpster.
say in
It's
the-
not in the dumpster. Trust me, I know it's not in the dumpster because it has value, and they do not discard value. They're waiting for me to abandon the property. I know what they're doing because I've studied trust law.
I have a
Adamant.
scanned image.
I cannot accept that. I need the original with wedding signatures, with the medallion stamps on the back of it.
Oh,
and
well, we don't-
They're trading
okay.
them. I know what they're doing.
We don't do medallion stamps.
Okay, how are you?
mean-
how are
mean
you? How are you trading the securities then?
Well, I don't trade securities.
I know
Just-
it's Mark and the rest of them that trade the securities. You probably don't handle that too often, do you?
I just take the money, deposit it
Mm-hmm.
in the bank with an endorsement. I have an image of the bond.
The image won't do me any justice. I need the original. I don't want my good name being traded on the International
And
Stock
I don't
Exchange.
have,
Okay, make the
because, like I said, I don't know, the Supreme Court
Mm-hmm.
recognizes a scanned image as a valid document.
only if I accept it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't accept digital signatures and I don't accept copies. Whether they're certified or not makes no difference to me. I need the wedding signature on that bond with the securities that are going to either be attached on the back of it or written, inscribed on the back of it. And I need those post haste. So make the calls, make it happen. And in the meantime, if we can't get this handled, I'm going to have to go through other means to the IRS, and it's a big legal bullcrap scenario that I shouldn't have to go through as an American. Shouldn't have to. In 1913, they took away our gold and silver. I will show you what real money looks like, because I carry it with me everywhere I go. That's real money. That's silver. No state shall issue anything other than gold and silver coinage. What they did in 1913 and to us in 1933 was create stuff like this. The whole reason we even have the system we have today is because you guys are able to monetize securities. Okay? And I know that you used my good name, a social security number, a birth certificate, and you generated securities off of that. And then you're looking for me to abandon that property. And I'm not going to abandon that property. I'm here for the long haul.
I don't have your social security number and any of that. I mean,
It's the estate's number. It's a Derek
So-
Chaton Gonzalez estate and trust.
so
What he wants is the originals, but you don't have them.
I
But
don't have them.
She has an obligation to find them.
What, I mean, where did they come from, I guess?
They came from the sheriff's office. We filed, we verify that the images are there, and once we have the images, they're considered the same as an original. Then we can destroy the original.
Sure.
The idea is that we've gone paperless.
I want to know who destroyed it. If you're claiming that those securities were destroyed, so you will testify under oath with firsthand knowledge that you destroyed a security in my good name.
Well,
See,
I
You're
don't-
doing the same thing we do.
We don't,
There's so much room in files and stuff that we just put them on. That's what
Dave,
we're doing
Dave,
now. I shred things every
Dave.
day.
Your job is way different than hers, and I know what her job is.
I mean, we only have to
So you're going to
maintain-
testify. You're going to testify with. If I subpoena you to court through the IRS and I bring you into federal court, you're going to testify that you destroyed those securities. That
I
you
didn't
personally
destroy
shredded
the
them.
securities. I scanned the image.
Mm-hmm.
We verified the image was there. The district court also has the same image.
Who did you give the securities back to? Tammy Shint, Mark Kuzik, or the alleged ministerial administrative judge? Whose private chambers are those securities in a vault in, or are they in your vault?
I don't have a vault.
Okay, so who did you give the securities back to is my question. Who is monetizing my good name? And when can I get a full disclosure on a full accounting of what has been done here with this case? Accessing my trust, denying me the ability to access my trust, and monetizing my documents and my paperwork in my good name. Because I didn't consent to it, and I didn't authorize it, and now I want those securities, and I want a full accounting, and it's
I got
not.
a question.
It's not hard. Yeah, go ahead.
Securities. You're referring to the original document. Is that what you're
The
referring to?
original document is
That's-
turned into a security, and they use my signature and they monetize it. Okay, they're using
Got
my
it,
good
got
name
it,
to do it.
got
Okay,
it, okay.
She knows what I'm talking about.
Well,
She's very,
that-
very articulate and very brilliant, and she knows her job very well, no doubt.
But
But earlier you said that you destroyed them, and now you're telling me that you didn't destroy any securities. So where are those securities? Where are the QSIT numbers? Where's the cage codes? Where is
Well,
the CRIS
I don't-
numbers that are attached to it? Where is all that stuff that's
I
being
don't-
monetized?
I have, I don't know what you're talking. I mean, I'm not saying that like, I don't know what the Q codes and all that are. I really don't.
Okay,
How- okay,
where's
this
the
is-
securities?
I have,
Okay.
what I'm given is a check and a bond paper.
I still haven't been made whole. That is $50 shy.
Okay.
Do you know why you keep the $50? Because I'm about to tell you why you keep the $50. You keep the $50 to keep those securities open and that bond open. Because although a case is dismissed, it's never destroyed. And after 3 years, they monetize it. They turn around and they turn it into the CAFR, for which the governor and the Secretary of State and the Attorney General enjoy their benefits from.
Okay, that's not a me decision.
You're absolutely in control of that $50. The judge, the ministerial administrator, is an actor that sits 4 foot off the ground. The whole ball of wax falls on you and Paulo Michel. You guys are the orchestrators.
Okay,
You guys are
I can't,
You're behind the skirt.
the way it stands right now, I cannot give you the $50.
Call the Attorney General or the governor and ask them how bad they want to get rid of me. Because at this point, I'm sure they're saying, "Get
Okay,
this son of a
but-
gun out of your courthouse. He's talking way too much and he's exposing way too much, and you've already said too much."
But whether or not it can be returned.
Oh, it absolutely can be, and so
but
forth
it's
with
that
the bonds. Okay.
because we lost jurisdiction.
You never
on-
had jurisdiction, but that's
Okay,
that's
okay.
irrelevant.
All right.
I just want made whole again.
Let her answer you.
That's
right?
all.
Let her answer you.
When this case went to district court,
Mm-hmm.
county court lost jurisdiction over.
In personam jurisdiction or subject matter jurisdiction?
You got bound over the district courts, which.
I know.
I know.
I'm just feeling how much she really, really knows, because I'm telling you, I didn't mess around when I studied law. I'm telling you right now, I'll give the best
So
attorney
who
around.
do we go to with district court issues then?
That
The
would be
IRS, because
actually it
everything
would
is
be
the IRS.
it's actually would be Judge Kozacek.
Okay, can you make that call for me? Because you're saying that you destroyed the securities. Now you're telling me you didn't destroy the securities. Now you're saying that Judge Kozak, you may have handed those securities to him, and he may, in fact, have those in his private vault
Okay.
in judge's chambers.
All right.
What you told me and what I'm hearing is you destroyed the originals once you
I
scanned them
don't-
and put them in the computer, right?
But then she said she didn't
This
destroy
this
the
piece
original.
of paper that
It's on a recording. You can review it.
has a bond on it.
Mm-hmm.
The original document,
I want the original with the wedding signature.
we don't have it.
Who has it? Where has it been traded? Did you take it to the bank over here and they turn around and send it to the bankruptcy court in the International
there
Bank
is
of
no-
Commerce in New York?
There's no
Because
piece of paper anymore.
No, there has to be.
So,
because the securities
we
do
have-
not get changed into a bond
We have
until they
a
reach.
replica of it.
No, you have a copy of it. That's not a replica. Well, okay, replica, whatever you want to say it. But you openly admitted earlier you did destroy it. Now you're saying you didn't destroy the securities. I need the bond and the securities attached to it.
Okay. The piece of paper, I don't have.
Okay.
The original document.
Will you make a promise to me that you will do your best as a public official with an oath of office, and I'm going to accept your oath of office at this point before this gentleman here, who I know has taken 3 oaths of office, and I believe that he is a man of honor and integrity that absolutely will uphold his oath at all cost. And what I'm asking you is, under your oath of office today, will you make a valid effort, an attempt to ascertain those securities from whoever has them in my good name, because I have not authorized
Okay.
them and I'm not condoning theft by taking at the barrel of a gun. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I'm an American,
I guess-
and I believe in this country, and I believe in good people. And I'm telling you right now, we're becoming educated at a phenomenal rate as to the scams that are happening in these court systems, these judiciary. Will you give me your word that you will make the calls to find the bond and the securities? Because you and I both know that
She's
we're
trying
not
to
destroyed.
explain.
She's thinking about what she's about to say.
But you're not.
I'm not speaking to you. Can I speak to her? I appreciate you, Celicia. I respect you, but let me speak to her because she's the one that holds all the ball of wax.
Okay.
And I absolutely know this.
But I'm just asking you to let her talk.
Celicia, thank you. I'll speak to you if I need to. Thank you. So, will you give me your word
I will
under your
give-
oath
I
of
can-
office
I
that you will
can
go
give
get my
you-
bond and my securities.
I can give
Because they're
you
mine.
the bond. Mm-hmm. But what the court considers,
We're getting somewhere.
A
If you go get me
document.
the
I can't-
original
I
bond with the
can't-
wedding signature,
I can't.
well, I'll work. Why can't you do that? Because you've already sold them. You've already changed them.
I
You've
don't
already sold
have
them.
the original piece of paper.
You absolutely have to, because the original is the only thing that holds weight and value. They're not going to monetize a copy.
Okay, I can.
If I take a
if-
copy of this check to the bank, are they going to cash this? No, they're not.
No.
Why? Because they need a wedding signature with an endorsement, right?
But because,
You're a banker. This is a banking window. I know what's going on here.
Okay.
I'm not a fool.
all right. I don't have the original bond. I cannot create it.
Are you gonna-
I
Are you going to
cannot.
testify before this man you destroyed the original bond and securities?
I don't have to, based on what they have, the guidelines they give us is once we verify we have us, the image in the computer. Okay, this is where we are,
When can I have the other $50? I'm going to make sure that you're not collecting on any of those
Okay.
securities. So when
All
can I
right.
have my other $50? When can I be made whole again in FRN note, imaginary land, where
Okay.
there is no money because this is just a promissory note to pay?
That's not a me decision.
Who makes that decision?
That would be Judge Kozachek.
Okay.
Because
Judge
this is, okay,
Kozachek doesn't have any authority over you because you are the true authority behind the deal.
Well,
You're the
no.
one. Yeah.
I mean, okay, anyway, because this went over to district court and it was dismissed in district court, county court does have the $50, but it is
I
not,
would like that back.
he,
Do you have a checkbook that you can write that check right now?
I don't have any authority
I
to,
will grant you that authority because it's mine.
okay,
Okay, let me
Okay,
just
but-
let me be rational with you real quick. I give you $500. You give me $500. I charge you for something, right? I give you charges and I don't explain to you how much each one of those charges is worth. And you give me $500 so you can get out of a cage, okay? And then I later decide, oh, I've got the wrong person, or these charges don't apply. Do I have an obligation to make you whole again?
okay.
Yes, you do.
I'm not saying that.
I just
this
want to be made
money-
whole. I'll disappear. I'll stop all this stuff. I'll leave you guys alone. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. I promise. I'll even sign a non-disclosure form. Give me access to the private side of things and my own estate and help me create my trust, and I will turn around and walk away and leave you guys the hell alone. That's a guarantee. My word is my bond. And I promise that. But I want to be made whole. And I want
I'm
a
not
full
saying-
accounting on everything that was created on this case because it's all monetized under CFR 27. All crimes are commercial.
Okay.
The judge is a the judge is a banker in Black's Law Dictionary, and banker is a judge in Black's Law Dictionary. It's circular and it's rhetorical. You here are at a federal discount window. This is a bank. This is where you receive funds and you exchange funds. This is nothing different than the bank across the street or the bank over there. It's no different. So I want my securities, I want my bond, and I want full disclosure on everything you monetized in my good name. It's not hard. And I know you're not used to American men studying and researching and knowing these things, but I'm telling you right now, I know darn good and well what I'm talking about.
I will check and see if that funds can be returned back to you.
Thank you much. And you will never see me again once I'm made whole. Because these guys don't have any problems with me. And they have no reason to stop me. Short of murder, armed robbery, which I will never do. I'm a hardworking, able-bodied man. I've never accepted any benefits from the state in my life.
I will, but.
But I don't appreciate
can't-
being fleeced by this corporation.
Okay.
And that's exactly what it is. It's a corporation.
I can't make that decision.
Huh? You've given me your word, and
I
I've
will-
also
I will-
accepted your oath. Can you give me your oath of office today? Do you have that? I need your oath of office, and I need it under certified seal.
My oath of office, I
Yes, ma'am.
believe, is in the clerk's office.
That's right. She holds it over there, and you hold hers. But why was Paula able to give me hers?
I don't hold anybody's. We're just the
The
court.
district court holds the county courts, and the the county
The
clerk
clerk,
holds
the
the clerks.
clerk's office, not the district court, the clerk's office.
Correct. Thank you
has-
for the correction. I appreciate
has-
that.
Has our,
We all took our oaths a month ago from.
Yeah.
the
Sure.
court.
Okay, so
And-
I'm going to go
and she
ascertain
should-
your oath so I can hold you to it.
okay, I will,
Can you answer me this one question? Is that an oath to the Constitution for the United States of America, or is it an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America? Basically, is it an oath to the de jure government, or is it an oath to the corporation?
I don't remember what it says.
I think it says,
Two, isn't it?
yeah, I mean,
It was just a question, so don't,
I don't have it memorized.
that's all right. It's okay. But I'm going to accept your oath. I'm going to do it in front of this gentleman, and I want you to get my securities.
So, I
want you
will-
to get my bond. I want it all.
I will check on the $50.
Yep, I want a full accounting on everything. I'm not giving up that bond. I'm not done with that bond and those securities. Either you guys are going to monetize it and you're going to collect a little bit, and then you're going to, after you've settled all the accounting, then and you've balanced the public side, then you're going to balance the private side of the ledger by giving me everything I'm entitled to that's left over. Because those bonds and securities are traded for hundreds of thousands of credits, quote unquote, and I know this to be true. So after you do your full accounting and you balance the book on the public side and the private side, I want the remnants of the accounting to fall upon me. And whether you put it back into my trust or whether you issue me a check personally would be just fine.
Okay, I will check
Thank you.
on that.
I appreciate that.
That is,
Like I said,
That's not
once
a
this is done,
that-
if nobody with a gun and handcuffs takes interest in me, you guys never have to deal with me again. Because I'm a law-abiding, lawful man who loves his family, loves his country, and I have a duty here today.
Yep.
I have a duty here today.
so, I have to check on that.
Okay, so when can I expect an answer? Because the board's like, I said, give me 30 days. Oh, they won't answer because, see, that gives them liability at that point at a
That's-
certain time. So when
I-
we enter
I-
into contracts and we enter
I
into
can
business, I
send-
need a time.
I can send an email, but I can't.
I prefer a phone call when you sent the email and keep track of all this stuff because I'm going
Well,
to
if
want
I
full
send an
disclosure of
email-
when you do your.
If I send an email, I have a paper trail.
Perfect. Wonderful. I'm just
And-
covering your butt, but I know the judge has no authority over it because it ultimately is you and Paul Maciel that handle all the banking aspects of
So,
things.
but, I
She
can
gets-
check with the judge.
Yeah.
That, like I said,
I want my
that's not
securities,
a,
I want my bond, I want it all.
But
So,
that's.
all right. Thank you much. Appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you for being professional and courteous. Once you're done balancing the books, we're good. So,
So, but that is, like I said, that's not a me decision. I will check.
Okay.
I'll email the judge,
All right.
so then that way he knows.
and let him know, let Mark know, hey, Derek just wants us to balance the books on the public side and the private side and give him the remains. And the
So-
remains should be pretty substantial considering how you guys
So-
monetize securities.
And then it will be.
So again,
but
we've established,
because it was handled in district court.
so again, we've established that you didn't destroy the actual securities.
I didn't destroy
Or the bond.
dollars, but
Yeah, dollars are really irrelevant.
But
I don't care
I-
about
I
this.
don't
This is
have-
nothing.
I don't have the original one.
Okay, so I need the other $50 because obviously I'm taking the bond, and so you won't need to hold $50 to keep that bond open. And then I want the bond and the securities that come with it. Let Mark know Derek says hello, and tell him I said greetings. So, and let's try and get this handled amicably before I have to go through the IRS rigmarole. I really don't want to have to go through the IRS. I absolutely hate doing paperwork, but I don't want to be forced to do that. Please don't make me do that. Just call Mark up and say Derek wants his property.
So
So-
I'll contact the judge.
Thank you much. Appreciate
And
that.
then it's, like I said,
All right.
that's not a me decision.
Well, I'm sure he will say, give him whatever the hell he wants because we don't want the IRS auditing us because we don't pay taxes. When we're
So-
putting stuff into the CAFR, when we're monetizing securities, and when we're putting things into cage codes, and when we're doing things through the CRIS numbers, we're not paying our taxes. We really don't want the IRS here. And the IRS will give me, I think it's like 10% of whatever they find. And they'll go back clear into the 80s when you guys started doing business, and they'll find out how much taxes you haven't paid, and I'll get a sizable check from that as well. Let's not do that. Just give me what's mine, and let's call it a day. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Yep. One more question. Cashing this check in no way, shape, form Is there a blind adhesion contract with this check? If I cash this instrument here that you have, is this a waiver of my $50 and my bond and my right to my securities? Can you answer that? Is there any blind adhesion contracts that would be attached to this instrument? Because I haven't had full disclosure. So if I cash it and I don't have full disclosure, that's a breach of due process, which is a serious violation.
All I can say is, you are for sure entitled. This is your money.
Well, it's promissory to pay, but yes, go ahead.
Okay. The additional $50 is not contingent on that.
Clarify contingent.
And then accepting that the other $50
Right,
goes.
because you case that check doesn't mean you're giving up any attempt to get the other $50.
Right.
Okay. That's your word.
And-
Okay.
And the key word is attempt, because
Well, I'll
she's
get
got
it.
to, yeah,
I'll
she's
get
got
it,
to go
Dave.
through the judges
I'll
and
get it,
find out
Dave.
what's
And
going on.
I hope you're really paying attention to this.
No,
You're a brilliant guy.
No, yeah, my
And
wife
she's
would
brilliant
agree.
too. I know she's not. Yeah, I know she's not dumb. So let's make it happen. Thank you, Berta. I appreciate it. Thanks for being professional. Yep. Hi, how are you? Hi, Lisa. I need Berta's, I need a certified copy of Berta's oath of office.
That is Paula here because she knows for all.
Yeah, she'll be back. Just like, one, two. Ew.
Hope you guys are backing this up offline. This is probably one of the best videos for people to research and study. Thanks, Brother Kyle. I appreciate that.
Paula should be back in just a second.
Okay, I'll just wait. Yeah, I just need Berta's oath of office. You know, there's some interesting discussion that happened over there. She's saying that the bond and everything is all over here.
The actual bond money, the fee, the 10%.
Right,
fee.
yeah, I got her to finally clarify that. It was kind of a song and dance over there. I know you don't have the bond, but she's saying that well, first she said she destroyed it, and then she's saying she made a copy of it. She doesn't have it anymore. I'm asking who has that bond and who's monetized and securitized that bond? Where's it at?
I was wondering, I don't know, I mean, we do what we do here,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, you know, but is there a state bond administrator, or would you talk to the state court administrator to find out that stuff?
That's
You
a
know,
good.
I don't know.
That's a good point. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate
So-
that. Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah. No worries. No worries at all. Hi, Paula. How are you? I need the oath of office for Roberta.
I'm not sure that I have an oath of office. I would
have to look and see
She's certain that she just did it a month ago and you have it over here, so.
the oath of office, but let me see if I can find it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was given.
Okay, she specifically told me she has an oath of office over here.
This is all I have.
So you're saying the county clerk does not have an oath of office?
This is what I have. This appoints her.
Oh, she's
You
appointed?
could, it's from Judge Burdick. And
Okay.
you can read what it says.
Okay, but she should still have an oath of office.
This is all we have in our,
Can I get you to certify that, please?
it would cost $1 and
That's
a quarter.
fine.
Again.
Do you
And
accept coinage?
I accept US tender.
U.S. tender.
I think the stuff you're digging for.
State
I mean,
court administrator. Okay.
That is, I think,
Mm-hmm.
I thought the phone number was on there, but maybe it wasn't.
That's all right. I'll dig it up. Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate it.
We just don't have your
I'm just trying to get made whole. That's all it is. So,
I mean, if anything, I would think they would be able to explain how things are done around here better than we.
well, they'll probably take the juxtaposition and act as though they have no clue what their position really is. So it's just sad and disheartening is all. I'm just trying to get made whole. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, and so again, she does not have an oath of office on
This is
file
what I have.
at all. Where would her oath of office be held?
That you'd have to talk to her about.
Okay, I'll go back
I'm
across
not
the
in
way and
charge
ask
of
her.
her, so I don't know.
Okay, there's your,
Okay, I believe that.
Coinage.
Okay, there it is. Thank you very much.
yep. So again, no oath of office on file for Berta here
This
in
is
Valley
what I
County.
have.
No oath of office, okay. Thank you much. Hey Berta, there's an issue. They're saying they do not have an oath of office across the way for you. Where is your oath of office housed at?
Is this what they gave you?
That is what they gave me, and that's not an oath of office.
Okay. Because I do work
I
in
understand
all-
that. So what county do you have your oath of office in?
It's in
'Cause
Garfield County.
Garfield County? I would have appreciated if you would have just been honest with me that first time. I would
Okay.
have traveled to Garfield County and go pick up your oath of office. Thank you so much.
Well, okay,
Berta, I'm a very honest man. I'm very forthcoming.
Okay.
My mother raised me to be a good man, and this village raised me to be a
trust
good
me.
man.
trust me.
I'm just
I'm-
here with honor, dignity, and respect. I want the truth. I'm tired of being run over by this alleged facade of government.
Okay.
It's disgusting to me. Where's your oath of office? Garfield County?
Right.
Go ahead and give them
I-
a call and let them know I'm on my way.
Okay, can
Call
I?
State Patrol, let them know Derek Gonzalez will not be speeding down the highway.
Watch out,
driving negligent.
Beatley went that way.
Yeah, all right. Garfield County, I'm headed there.
All right.
Thank you.
Because I'm,
It's okay. I just expect forthcoming honesty. You
I
guys are
guess I
public
consider
officials.
this-
That is not an oath of office, and you and I both know that. Just like a copy of the bond is not the bond,
all right.
and you and I both know that.
If you,
I'm going to get your bond. Thank you. And I'm accepting
This
your oath of
allow,
office.
all right. I mean, that's fine.
Where are you insured through? Norma?
No.
Do you have a private bond? You should probably invest in a private bond. I've encouraged him to do the same. Everybody in office should be privately bonded independently. So, with that, can I have that back?
Yeah, I was just reading, you're hereby authorized to perform the duties of clerk magistrate.
It's an appointment, yeah. It's an assignment.
For-
It's not an oath of office. I want an
for-
oath of office.
All right, this
Okay.
is.
All right,
All
thank
right.
you, brother.
All right, that's where I was.
No, I was very clear about the oath. But anyway, please work diligently on finding those bonds and those securities, because I am not done here. And I swear with everything I am, I will scrape the heavens and the earth to find all the securities instruments that were created in my good name. I will be made whole again, and I will absolutely not stop until I am. What you guys do to the American people is disgraceful. Victimless crimes is absolutely egregious. None of these courthouses would even be around if it wasn't for the fleecing of the American people, who are good people by nature. Sure, there are rapists, there are murderers, there are people that belong behind bars, but there aren't near enough of them to keep all these buildings up and going. I've got a problem in this country. We're going to fix it together. We're going to work together. You guys can be paid out of the CAFR very handsomely on the private side, and we'll take good care of you to monitor and take care of these estates far better than you're being treated by the de facto senators and congressmen and governors that you represent now. We're going to make serious changes here. And they'll probably shoot me, because this is exactly what JFK was chasing down. This is exactly what Donald Trump is chasing down right now. The American people are sick of it. So work with us. Let's make things right. That's all I'm asking for. As above, so below. As done in heaven, so shall be done on earth. Don't take away. You don't have dominion over the land as an officer in office. You have dominion over the land as a God-given woman, okay? That's where we have dominion. The government doesn't have dominion over the streets or anything else. The Bible is the original book of trust, and I've been reading it a lot lately. Not to mention all the law, all the code, all the provisions, statutes, codes, provisions, and city ordinances. I'm reading them, and I'm finding one thing, that you guys really have no authority at all. And what you're doing is extorting and fleecing the American people. So help me help you, and then you can get rid of me. And you can go back to fleecing all the people that are ignorant, willfully, because I can't help them. They don't want to be helped. But I'm far from it. So I appreciate your time. I'm going to go down to Garfield County. Please tell me that if I waste all my fuel getting down there, that you're going to have an oath of office down there.
Is it the clerk that's got it?
I gave it to her 3 years ago.
Okay, it's supposed to be done, is it every 2 years or is it every year? Might be every
We
two.
only do it.
See, we get elected, well, I don't get elected at all.
Sure.
Casey gets elected, it gets redone every 4 years. It's the same way with clerk, treasurer. Now,
But we're
I
not
don't know about, these
We're
guys are
not
different.
elected officials.
You're appointed. I see that very clearly, but you still have an oath of office. So I'm going to go down to Garfield County. You've told me that it's there. I hope you weren't misleading me. Maybe you can make a call and make sure that they have it prepared when I get there.
I
Okay?
can have them do that. But
Thank you so much.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm also gonna say, I gave it to him. Once
You
I
want-
gave it to him.
Are you willing to swear under the penalties and pains of perjury with
That I
first-hand
gave-
knowledge?
I mean, I had to
Who
give
did,
it-
who did you give it to?
Well, she's not there anymore.
What was her name?
No, she retired.
No.
That's all right. What was her name? If you gave it to somebody, I mean, I remember when I give something to somebody. If I give
Stacia.
something, okay, if I give something to Dave, I can tell you 8 years from now, I gave this to Dave. If I gave him a silver dollar, I can tell you 8 years from now, I gave it to Dave.
I can't remember her last name.
But she worked at the clerk of the court?
She was
District court or the county court?
the county clerk,
County clerk. Okay,
because they're the ones that kind of maintain the records
okay.
for everybody. And at that point, and I'll tell you, it will say Greeley or Garfield and Wheeler counties. And since then,
So you don't have one in Valley County?
that's where this.
I'd advise you to go ahead and get an oath here in Valley County since you're doing business here. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm like a bloodhound today. People trying to persecute people without proper documentation in place. We got issues here. We got issues. So, with that, if I get shot, you guys know why. because I'm obviously not going to stop at this point. Anyway, have a beautiful, blessed day, and